Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here. Okay, so we have a shift in the energy. Right, okay. I'm just tuning into where I start. There's been a lot feeding into what this shift is. And so over the weekend, I just noticed such a distinct change in the energy. And it feels like an activation of the fifth house. Okay, Aries, the house of creativity and fun and pleasure and play. So we're talking to the sacral, we're talking to that happy belly space where we do our cauldron work and things happen. So I noticed that is really coming online. And play space is opening up. And I started some art projects and some furniture renovation, and I'm making a new drum beater. And there's some really gorgeous stuff happening. And then I look outwards and I see a different story. And I was given something to watch, which it's not really worth recommending. I think it's called The Perfect Couple or something, or A Perfect Couple. But what it revealed about human behavior and narcissism and the upholding of the tower for me was fascinating enough to stay right to the end. And I'm seeing it. Okay. So what I'm sitting with might be, we'll pull some more cards. I've got 3 in front of me, but it might be I don't want to use the word healing. The rebirthing of the parentified child. And sentences like, I don't think there's ever been a time in my life when I haven't given energy to what other people think. And so in the complex of the parentified child, we have parentification. So that's when the child parents the parent. And I'll talk into that if it comes up. The peacekeeper. So that's when the child who is parenting the parent becomes peacekeeper. So kind of sits at the bottom of that triangle. You have parents here and the child here that then has to go right up to manage the feelings of the parents. Okay, this is what erodes boundaries and creates something that looks like savior energy. So that hypervigilant part of the child. Yeah, I'll talk into this more slowly. It's kind of looking for the next fire to put out. Okay. And if we wrap this all up, it might look like the golden child complex. So that is on the radar. And it's like the part of the golden child that's been hidden within is becoming visible. So it's like it's been existing in a blind spot up to now. And it's becoming visible and beginning to unravel. Excuse me. I'm being called, it's 2 decks there. I'm being called to the mystical healing oracle. And so to free that child and take it back to some kind of free child state, we begin the work of dissolving the golden child complex. Let's say the golden child complex. That might be the name of the video. So in this Dwama called A Perfect Couple, this perfect couple went to stay at their summer house in Nantucket, which I did Google because it looks absolutely gorgeous and clearly where all the money in the world is. And so they're kind of the Nantucket people, and they're very glamorous and they're very perfect. The makeup is perfect, the hair is perfect, the clothes are perfect, nothing but the latest lines, and everything is this vapid facade. There's no gravity in there, and it's been captured so beautifully and exaggerated so beautifully, I can't not see it. And so the whole family become complicit in this narcissistic lie, okay? Until, spoiler alert if you want to watch it, a newcomer to the family asks the question that you absolutely should not ask at the dinner table while everybody's there. And you see the tower come down. And then you see people joining in. It's like one of my favorite things to do is to drop an F-bomb into polite conversation and stand back. Just like flip the pin, toss the grenade, and stand back and watch. Because what happens is phenomenal, as in phenomenologically visible. And people shift and they change. And gravity comes in and it pulls people into their body. And other things happen. But to witness that was like witnessing this scene at the dinner table. And so the family then starts to break. And the family starts to drop into their insanity, as in the part of their natural self, their blood self, their light self that's never been able to fully express itself, starts to come out. And it's a bit unrefined, so it comes out loud and noisy and disastrous and breaks, and the family breaks, and it breaks, and it breaks, and then it breaks on camera, and then it goes worldwide. So it's a catastrophic break from the normality of perfection. Okay. And I just watched it with utter fascination. I thought, this is what's happening. What a beautiful metaphor of what's happening in the world is blind spots coming right out. Neptune and Saturn going, now look again. Now look again. Chiron in Aries. Is Chiron still in Aries? I don't know, but that's coming in. Chiron in Aries going, yeah, look to yourself first. Stop trying to fix the world. So that adapted child, the parentified child, doesn't know it's parentified. It just thinks it's being really helpful in the world, but that's got distorted. And so my systemic question might be, if you're not helping someone else, what then? Okay. So this new kind of fifth house creativeness is taking us back into, we had this a few months ago, is taking us back into meaningless playtime, fruitless playtime, no attachment to outcome, no responsibility to feed someone else's need in the expression of your individuality. Okay, and so we walk the next step into the process of individuation. Yeah, this is beautiful. So if we call the integrity, the whiskers, sensory perception, go to the gut, go to the heart. All of your integrity is hardwired. The body knows. The body knows. The spirit will guide. And in the revelation of this child, so the parentified child, there is a systemic order to things. And there is also a systemic hierarchy in the workplace and in the family. So in the family, child, parent, grandparent, so on, so on, so on down the ancestral line. So the child must always be pointing forward with the hand of the ancestor in the back of the child. Child's job, take the family line forward in your own way. But it's not that. Okay, it's being something else. And this is the challenge in the first house of Aries. And so we'll start looking at the ancestral miasma that has forced the child to turn back, go up to parent, go up to grandparent, to down parent the parent, because the parents can't handle their own feelings. And so the parent goes to the child and the child starts fixing. And where are the adults in this? Okay. It is beautifully complex, and you'll either feel it in you or you won't. So go to your body. And so then the child becomes a puppet to the wants and the needs of others. Okay, and may not even see it. So I love that this is coming out now. Wow, just wild, chaotic freedom. Children running all over the planet. Beautiful. So I've gone to the musical alchemy of astrology. I'm just going to, yeah, here we go. Oh, I have shuffled and shuffled and shuffled for like 10 whole minutes. This deck, me and Russ were doing readings at the weekend, and it's just the same cards coming out. So let's bring them in. Right, okay. Okay. I'm going to jump around because this is so beautifully complex. So the first card that pinged out when I was shuffling was the Moon in Gemini, which talks about the celebrated individualism. And what this gives me is the performing child. And so part of being parentified, and this wound has been going on for thousands of years, because children have to occupy a different place in the family system where there is displacement, war, you know, all the injuries. And so the children learn to be useful, valuable, helpful. And the narcissism that's in the field will celebrate them because they're making the parent look good. So a child of NPD parents, narcissistic personality disorder, will have a bandwidth, a fixed bandwidth, where if they don't shine, they fail the parent. And if they shine too bright, they fail the parent. So you tend to find that children of NPD parents are quite shallow breathers. You know, they can't fully get their fire on. It's safe. They have to find that safe space. And so I haven't read any of these words, but when I saw the word celebrated, that's like the child that performs, is hypervigilant, is reading the cues from everybody around them. And actually, their ability to read people is quite superior. But the background program is I'm reading that because I need to help that before I help this. I'm reading that because I need to feed that and manage that before I feed and manage this. Okay. And so we're into depletion. So, Moon in Gemini, celebrated individualism, the crowd pleasing jovial jester. Yeah. So, know your flow. Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's a great connection. So, this child complex will have a frail relationship with rest, with flow, with when the body needs to lie fallow and when the body needs to be active, because they'll have been knocked out of that natural, the rise and the fall of the wave when they were a kid, and they were forced to be on all of the time because they didn't know when mum and dad were going to kick off. Okay. And so to know your flow is to initiate into intuitive knowing. And again, I want to take you back to cat's whiskers and gut response. Energy does not lie. Okay, this child will have known from a very early age, this is wrong. And so that child has to make up narratives, okay, to make it okay. Like a soldier has to create a narrative to take the life of another man on behalf of his boss. That's moral injury, okay? So somewhere we have to reconcile that thing I'm doing does not feel natural, normal, healthy, safe, secure, sacral base, or sacral base. Mainly sacral base. Okay, onwards. I sense this is going to be a long video cut into 2 or 3 episodes. Yeah, thank you. So the moon in Cancer is the nurturing emotional charioteer. Can you picture the chariot card? It's in the Lightseer's Tarot, the chariot card is a guy balancing on top of a chariot being pulled by horses, and white horses, black horses. It's all about keeping your balance in that movement. And what I'm being shown is the ancestral line and the child in front. I think I'm going to crash. And the ancestor going, Bull, we've got you. How it should be. Bull, we've got you. And so the parent that can allow the child to fall and scrape their knees or make a mess, responsibly and socially make a mess and live to tell the tale, knowing that they're safe. In a rhythmic current, so we've got that rhythm and know your flow. And be loyal, be loyal to your flow. And that's going to introduce you to the no. That's going to introduce you to the organic yes, rather than the obedient yes, or the over-responsible yes. Moon in Cancer, I am starved, I am nourished. Moon in Gemini, I am unknown, I am celebrated. I am unknown because I'm celebrated. This Nantucket family were unknown because the real story that came out was just shocking behavior behind the scenes, shocking behavior, death by drowning, drugs, drug parties, alcohol, a little bit of prostitution thrown in for good measure. But to the world, shiny, happy people. They were shiny, happy people. Okay, because none of them were living in their flow. No organic, natural behavior. It's beautiful stripping back. Okay, so lots of moon energy. Examine your integrity is the challenge. That's kind of anchoring this reading. I can feel it. Release the child dragon is what I get with this. Oh, that's gorgeous. Release the child dragon. Yeah. So we have rule breaking, corrosive endings. Dimension resolving. That talks to alignment, discovery of the truth. Yep. Towers coming down, dissolving noble metals, changing the alchemy of how we are made up. Didn't see that. Natural world law. So again, this is speaking to alignment, to universal law. And today is a 9-9. That's universal law. That is, and today is like, this is going to begin the dissolving into the eclipses that are coming. And the dissolving so far is the pretense. We are dissolving the pretense. Can just hear somebody saying, "Oh, I thought you were a nice person." Okay, look up the etymology for nice. Primordial drumming. I am judgmental. I am unbiased. I am unbiased. First quality is authority. And on the table, we have Queen. And so, yes, I've gone back to the Caroline Miss archetype cards. And underlying that, oh goodness, here we go. There's another underlying story. Queen, mother, rescuer, there's the child, and storyteller. So the shadow attribute of a queen is the parentified child, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged. So parentified children have a problem with authority because they have to be in control, like their life depends on it. They have to be in control. And when that control is wrestled from their grasp by an authority figure, remember, they're already 2 rungs up the ladder down parenting. They know better. Controlling and demanding. I don't think I need to speak to these. Shadow attributes of the mother: smothering, abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. That's narcissism. Don't leave me. Yeah, I could even speak to the shadow attributes of the destroyer as narcissism, intoxication with destructive power, destroying another's dreams or potential. So how a parent keeps the child on the puppet string is to destroy their dream, the dream they came in with, get them onto the obedient path, the path where the kid can do the thing the parent couldn't do to make the parent look good and feel good. I just want you to be happy. I know, I use that line a lot, don't I? What right have you got to want your kid to be anything? Kid knows what it wants to be. Ask the kid, what do you want to be? How can I help you in that? So Saturn, natural world law, primordial drumming, divine masculine, brilliant. So we have mother, so we have feminine and masculine on the table. Non-judgmental living linear time, finding purpose. I am judgmental. First word is poisoned. That can be the transference of that inner poisoning, is to judge others. We judge others to keep ourselves safe where we might be feeling insecure. It's speaking so loudly. That, right, what is this? Because I have piles. Bring that in now. Okay. Okay, got my instructions. Thank you. Right. So I have one card from the Sacred Rebels deck. And that's going to introduce these cards. And then I'm going to start to wrap this section up. And then I've got to go to those. Okay, I get it. So here's the big, bold vision that a child is more than capable of conceiving of, more than capable. There's no boundaries with kids. There's no container. There's no what box. Okay, so we have distill coming in on that 3. So this is cleaning up the blueprints, and it wasn't meant to be like this. Again, I keep getting that sentence. So we are extruding impurities. That is the alchemy of making elements noble, to change an element from one form to another. Distillation is a alchemical change from liquid to vapor. Strengthening local environment. I don't understand what that means. Psychological immune system. Yeah, oh, thank you. Psychological immune system speaks to the erosion of boundaries, which happens when the child becomes the parent. So this is where these kinds of kids have a huge will to help the world. So they might become healers, and they might struggle with their boundaries. And they might even attract clients that come in to feed rather than a client holding its own volition, going, right, this is what I want to achieve. This is where I need you to help me to get to. And this is what I want you to do. So the client owns the journey and the facilitator just facilitates. So this is the cleaning up. It's the cleaning up of the healing relationship. Ah, that's sweet. Home herbals and tinctures. Ah, that's sweet. Make those for yourself. And you can do that just using song or word or drum, or you can make a proper tincture. But this is about did I just read self-preservation? Where did I see that? Self-preservation. Self-reservation. I don't know what that means. Okay, distill values. I am diluted by others' needs. I am enriched by meeting my own and following my flow, which doesn't always please people. And then we have these 2 little buggers. Okay. So this is, wow. I've forgotten where the eclipses are happening. I've already mentioned it, but I've forgotten it already. This is a real alignment. So South Node is going to scoop up all of this golden child complex and put it onto some kind of path, or help it to find some kind of path. North Node is the head of the snake. South Node is the tail of the snake. Self-guided journey. Okay. So if we're talking about a new philosophical mission, then we're talking about personal philosophy. And how would you describe your personal philosophy? Oh, interesting. that says storybook writer. And the next underlying is the the storyteller, the detective, the detective, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. It's very Sagittarian. Storyteller, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. For me, the full stop comes after life. The ability to experience and express life, full stop. On your terms, full stop. With nobody else's input, full stop. There's a real kind of coming home to self feel. Yeah, but what do you think about that? Yeah, but what do you feel about that? Yeah, what's your philosophy about that? Where am I going? I'm going to wrap this up with there is much to use of nature's way. It is with you always, available to you always. Take time to hear and see that which is close at hand. There are forces in you untried. They are yours to be used as you find them. That's from The Eyes of the Beholder by John and Lynn Sinclair Thomas. And on the next page, no soul that aspires can ever fail to rise. No soul that aspires can ever fail to rise. It's in the intention. No heart that loves can ever be abandoned. Difficulties exist only that in overcoming them, we may grow strong, and they only who have suffered are able to save. I don't understand what that means, but I'll leave that with you. That's from Annie Besant, Some Difficulties of the Inner Life. They only who have suffered are able to save. I understand that. But for me, that's good. That first verse is karmic alignment. No soul that aspires can ever fail to rise. If the intention is there, the intention is coming from the integrity to be all you can be, not really knowing what that is, but being open to it. Okay, beautiful people, I am going to leave you there. And I'm going to come back with a part 2. Let's see where this goes. So welcome, 99. And I'll be back with you soon. Bye.